What was the Jacksonian Revolution? Although mostly only known today as the one on the $20 bill, or as a controversial figure due to the Trail of Tears, at the time, Andrew Jackson was thought of as a democratic revolutionizer. The Jacksonian Revolution was a populist movement that transformed America's political system. It was a pivot to an Jacksonian descent. Point 1 would be that Andrew Jackson's presidency was the first for the middle class, and he would spread a lot more power to the middle class. He was, point 2, he was the first to embrace the attitudes and morals of frontier America. And thirdly, his presidency led to the rise of manifest destiny, ideas, and ideas. Point 1. He was the first from the middle class to spread power to the middle class. Andrew Jackson was the founder of the Democrats. He made a need for candidates to be able to connect to the average person. As a proponent of the common man, Jackson's time in his presidency marked a profound change, according to Robert McNamara. He was also not an Englishman, but was instead Scottish and Irish. This meant a move from an aristocracy to a democracy. Because he was the first to try to do this with already being known enough, he was successful. He did all of this as an orphan. His father died shortly after his birth. He often fought and got into trouble. He went to fight in the Revolutionary War with 13, and all of his brothers died. But he didn't stay where he was in life. With hard work, he was able to become a lawyer, and with his bravery, he was able to become a prominent military man. He became a motivational symbol for the lower middle class. But how was he able to be brave when almost all of his family died from war? This was due, at least in part, to his rough and ready mentality and his morals from frontier America, which shaped who he was. They, in fact, shaped every aspect of his career, including the vices that they came with. His mentality included things such as frontier justice, which primarily consisted of lynchings and duels, which he in fact got into over 100 of. Another tradition from the frontier was moonshine. He even had moonshine at the White House after his inauguration. As one of the attendees, Margaret Bayard Smith, said about the party, quote, "No arrangements had been made, no police officers placed on duty, and the White House had been inundated by the rabble mob." Unquote. Jackson seemed to have learned his lesson. Didn't have any other parties like this until his cheese party. People loved Jackson, and Jackson loved cheese. Some people thought it would be a great idea to send him a huge wheel of cheese. So they did, and it weighed almost 3/4 of a ton. The locals all felt pride when they shipped it to Jackson. He still had it at the end of his second term, and he wanted it gone. Because it was so large, and people loved free food, he invited many to a reception. Over 10,000 people attended, and they ate the cheese in its entirety. Although not a traditional solution, it worked, and that's what had mattered. He also bribed to get ahead, although this was one of the morals of the frontier America. Although he didn't intend to create a system of party manipulation in doing so, he did. He also started the idea of westward expansion and manifest destiny. Immigration changed America's identity. As more people moved in, more land was needed. He decided to take it from the Native Americans and give it to friends, among others, which is most of what the bribing he used was. This led to the now infamous Trail of Tears. Immigrants needed land, the Native American, so they took it from the Native Americans who now have less land, but now which led to the Trail of Tears. But after the Native Americans have less land and more people are moved in, there's still a little land left, so this leads to more people. It was a vicious cycle. This influx of immigrants changed American voting laws into much more of a democratic style than an aristocratic style. It had been who owned property instead of citizenship. Now, women and minorities mostly couldn't vote because all of the lower middle class and above had land. This led to many feeling entitled to the Native American land, too. John O'Sullivan said of the formerly Cherokee land, our, quote, claim is by the right of our manifest destiny, unquote. In other words, it was given to them by God, and they were simply using what was given to them as they pleased. These all come together to show that Andrew Jackson's ideas to help his people led to democracy and the ideas and ideals of manifest destiny. Because Jackson was the first from the middle class to spread power to the middle class. He was the first to embrace the ideas and attitudes and morals of the frontier America, and he was able to start the idea of westward expansion and manifest destiny. Andrew Jackson's and the Jacksonian Revolution changed America from a aristocracy to a democracy. Thank you.